Welcome to Spirit School. I'm your mentor, Danielle Sarank, also known as the Squamish Medium. In this podcast, I share honestly all I have learned about the mediumship and spiritual development journey. My intention is to normalize these conversations, to make way for a more confident, clear, and connected wave of lightworkers, serving the world of spirit with an open and joyful soul. Welcome again to Spirit School. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Spirit School. I am excited today to bring you your spirit messages for January 2023. Oh, how long have I been writing 2023 in my journals, just waiting to get past 2022? What a year. Of course, by now, if you are a regular listener, you will have listened to my roundup of what the hell 2022, and just very much looking forward to 2023. And the energy that I'll talk about here in a minute is definitely linked to some of what I spoke about when it comes to the future of 2023, because all month in December, it's just come through so clearly and constantly throughout the entire month about the focus for the collective. And again, I say collective with a disclaimer that I am not intending to speak on behalf or for 8 billion people on this planet. This is just Spirit's way and my Spirit's way of bringing forward information that I feel will resonate with a lot of people who are regular listeners and who will be drawn to listen to this. I haven't talked about that disclaimer for a while, but I just want to be very clear about that. I believe Spirit will attract you as a listener to different episodes at different times, and you will hear something that will resonate with you when you need it. So before we go there, because at the end of this episode, it's going to be a bit of a longer episode, and I'm sure you guys all appreciate that. There's going to be guided visualization for the last of this episode. So I'll definitely give you a heads up when that's happening. So if you're at work or you're driving or you're on the move, you're welcome to pause it and revisit the visualization when you have time and space to do it. And yeah, I'd be curious about your feedback on them. This will be the second visualization that I have included in different podcast episodes. I get requested quite a bit in my community to do more and more visualizations. So if they're helpful for you and you enjoy them, I'm happy to incorporate them a little bit more into these episodes. Now, before we get started on the spirit messages, I've mentioned this a couple times, but by the time you listen to this, we will have the doors officially open for the initiation, my 8-week Mediumship Foundations experience. I know that this is going to be a very powerful round. It's my 8th round running it. It's 8 weeks long. 2 of the cards I pulled for January were also 8s. So 8 just being like a really abundant number. And I know it's going to be an incredible round. So that will be starting on January 27th, which is a Friday. We're going to have live classes on Friday mornings, which are replay friendly for those who aren't able to make it. And there is a weekly self-study module. There are 2 partner practice pairings every single week that are self-organized, but we pair you up. And there's Q&As involved in that as well. So it's a very fulsome course for anyone who is in their first to 3 years of mediumship development. And then I'm excited that not long after the completion of the initiation, I will be running the initiation 2.0 for advancing mediumship just following that. So that's going to be really exciting as well. And if you're interested in the initiation and you've been thinking about the membership as well, this is my 3rd year running the membership, and I am bringing back an annual membership subscription. If you purchase an annual membership subscription for the Spirit School Collective, you will actually get the initiation for free. So it works out to be over $1,000 savings US. And I just felt so inspired to do that. And I know I've been talking about it for a bit, and a lot of you are like, where's the links? Where's the links? I just really wanted to wait until after Christmas to be able to post that, because I didn't want to financially stretch people before Christmas. And me and my team also needed a little bit of a break as December was winding down, because 2022, we accomplished a whole lot as a team, and we have a lot to prepare for in 2023 with Spirit School opening its first location, with the Initiation 2.0 running for the first time with the Trauma-Informed Lightworker Certification Program. And the first retreat, it's going to be a really busy first half of 2023. So definitely just wanted to give everyone a little bit of space, including myself. And this will be available to people up until the 27th. And then that's it. That's all I wanted to say. And in the membership, I should just say we meet 4 times a month and we do practice circles and Q&As and master classes, and I bring in guest mentors. And there's also a very rich and fulsome development vault that is a self-study, which has, I think, about 60 different classes on mediumship, angels, psychic, pet communication, astrology, human design. Like right now we're running a series on the divine feminine, and I have a university professor that teaches like female studies coming in to teach about like the history of femininity and the history of feminism and the divine feminine. And it's just so powerful. So I'm continuing to build resources in the Spirit School Collective. And if you're not ready for any of this, you're welcome to come to the free Spirit School space anytime. It's an off social media platform. It's completely free. There's even some free resources in there as well, different classes and week-long experiences. So hit the links below and we will see you in Spirit School, I hope. So let's get into the spirit messages. And I've been very inspired. I couldn't wait to record this episode because all month it's just been coming in so clear that when we feel into the energy of January, the world of spirit has been pressing me all of December to say it loud and clear and consistently and repetitively that we are being asked to start looking to our futures and start looking to our future selves. And this is very powerful because I know from like my personal experience of being in the intuitive mediumship and spiritual development journey that there's so much healing that has to take place to be able to step fully and confidently into our paths as light workers. There's a lot of focus on going back. There's a lot of focus on inner child. There's a lot of focus on reconciling things that have happened in the past. And this is all deeply rich and necessary work to do. But the world of spirit is saying that there is I don't want to say now or never, but that did come up a couple times. It's really an important time for us as a collective to start living for our futures. It's an important time to start making decisions with the future in mind because we have been told and asked so often to keep looking back. It was necessary, and we had to look at the patterns and the cycles that history had been repeating itself. And I feel like a lot of us are so aware of cycles now, like we weren't a generation or two ago. It wasn't a common conversation as it is now. And so Spirit's saying, okay, now we have this awareness that cycles happen. How do we break a cycle? We choose again. So there's an energy around choosing again, time and time again, and having this lens of our future selves as our guiding post in what decisions we make and when. So it's a simple switch of saying, how will this benefit me 6 months from now or a year from now or the generation from now? And making decisions, the example that they were really giving me is even around diet and exercise. I hate talking about that kind of stuff because I am not an authority on it in any way. But it's almost like this motivator that's built within us to say, am I doing this for my 80-year-old self? Am I doing this for my 90-year-old self? Am I doing this for my children's future? But really starting to inquire about the decisions that we're making or not making and how it impacts our future, because we are being asked to choose a little bit differently. And even if I'm seeing right now like a group of 10 people, so say that you have 10 people in your proximity in your life, and you are the only one who decides to choose differently to break some of these cycles and patterns that we have as a society, that ripple effect will feed out into 2 or 3 other people, who will feed out into 2 or 3 other people, who will feed out into 2 or 3 other people, and the ripple effect continues. But I think until we can see what a future looks like when we make decisions for a future self, when we can see the positive impact that creates in our mentality, in, the way that we show up in the world, we just don't know what it feels like. So we don't think about it that much. But the world of spirit is asking us to take some leaps when it comes to 2023 and January specifically on try it on for size, see how it feels, see what happens in your life. And I just feel like there's a lot of expansion on the horizon. So if you could even just hold an inquiry, if you make a note in your phone or make it your screensaver on your phone or have a sticky note at your desk or wherever you have to spend your time during the day to see how will this affect my future self. And it would be interesting for me to see how you choose differently and what happens in your life after that. So there's a lot of focus around that for 2023. I have a note here around this, like now or never, because we are in this phase where our society has been shaken up, and it's been shaken up before many times. But we typically revert to what we know and like what has worked well, and I'm putting well in air quotes in the past because it's only worked for a certain type of person and a certain type of, societal placement. But we're in this kind of like shake up phase right now where the ground is really loose beneath us and we get to choose what foundation we put down for the rest of our generations moving forward. So it is really a time to start choosing differently because we're being asked to break the pattern and break the cycle. Another inquiry that the world of spirit invites us into when it comes to 2023 and January is really getting clear on what you stand for and who you stand for. Looking at your life and looking at maybe the pockets of energy you have everywhere in the sense of like friends over here and workmates over here, career over here, relationship, family. Like there's all these little pockets that you could potentially be in. What and who do you stand for? And where needs your voice? Where needs your voice? And this is like a really important message because Spirit is actually showing me a lot of you really standing up, chest out, standing tall, ready to take up some space and ready to exercise your voice and share a lot of the wisdom that you have been gaining over these past few years. You may not feel like you have it all together, and that's okay. I don't feel like I have it together half the time either, but I do, because when you start speaking and when you start sharing your light with others, you surprise yourself in how much you know and how much people needed to hear what you have to say. But what the world of spirit is saying here is you have to give yourself that chance and that opportunity. And they're actually making my throat chakra tighten as I speak about this, because I feel like as I say this, a lot of you will feel the tightening around the throat chakra. And what they're asking us to do is actually loosen this through expressing our voice, through allowing ourselves to be heard in spaces that we have been quiet. And it's in the spaces that we choose to be quiet and hang out in the background that actually needs us to step forward now. And I'm wondering if you can see this with me, the different spaces, and write it down for yourself. Like, where needs my voice? Where needs my energy? Where needs my light? And know that the world of spirit really does support you in standing up for your truth and standing up for what you're going to choose to represent in this next phase of our society. Because I definitely feel like that. I feel like the next 2 years are still going to be a little bit of trial and error, and there's so much divine free will at play. Our future is very dependent on the choices that we make every single day, in every single interaction. So Spirit is asking us to be more conscientious of those decisions. And if decisions we're making are a reflection of our past, or they're a reflection of the desire that we see in the future that we want to create. Because this is the now or never energy that I have been really feeling. So I know for me, I'm probably going to be looking at like, okay, what would I have chosen before? What decision would I have chosen? And does this actually resonate with where I want to go and how I want the future to be for my kids and my lineage, right? We're all working to be good ancestors here. And so this is part of that really deep work in becoming the ancestors that really changed the lineage, that changed the DNA, that changed the cellular memory. We're really that generation. And things have been hard before, but I feel like they're making me feel aware, because I'm like, well, what I'm saying in my head is like, well, things have been hard before. Like we've had world wars, we've had like, a lot of chaos and disruption. But the world of spirit is saying like, this is actually a little bit different, because it is literally affecting every person on the planet, because we have the internet now. We have so much exposure to all the nooks and crannies of the world and everything that's not going well and everything that is like being uprooted and asked to really change. And we haven't had that before. So in this lens, things are really different now. And I hope that you can recognize and that you can see at this point how valuable you are to the future of this planet and the future of humanity and the future of your family lineage, because it is not a small ask as a spirit to choose to come in this embodied experience during this time. Can you see how important and valuable you are to the future that the ones in spirit who are waiting to come in are asking us to do? Like, think about the courage that it takes to come in during this time. So you already have that innate courage within. And so wherever you are feeling like you are lacking that courage and you don't have it within you to change, I'm here to tell you, you do. You absolutely do. And a lot of Spirit's messages over the past 2 years have been focused around really two things. One, get your mindset right. That goes back to 2019. I think when I first started doing these Spirit messages, I remember for a whole year, Spirit's like, get your mindset right, clean up the internal dialogue. And I remember it being a repeat. And I was thinking about that yesterday as I was contemplating these Spirit messages. I was like, wow, yeah, I could see how they were really preparing us for 2020, 2021, 2022. Because even for me and my proximity of people that I know to be completely of sound mind are struggling with depression, anxiety, because we have been through the ringer for these past few years. And I felt like last year, a lot of the repetitive messages that were coming through these Spirit messages, and I don't prep them very much. I think this one I prepped for a little bit more than the others because I've just been going through a lot. Like in December, it was like a really hard month for me. And so I did kind of feel into this yesterday, whereas usually I feel into it like on the whim. But the other thing that was coming up quite repetitively in 2022 was around being comfortable in the discomfort and understanding that because something's uncomfortable doesn't mean it's bad for us. It doesn't mean it's negative. We avoid and we pacify discomfort in so many various ways. And I'm queen of that, right? You know, I have a really colorful background with addictions, and I can recognize how people who have addictive patterns, whether you're addicted to scrolling on TikTok or addicted to shopping or addicted to, different substances, it's like really trying to pacify and avoid some discomfort that we have. And the world of Spirit is bringing this up, who knows for a last time or not, but really kind of preparing us for the change that is being asked of us in 2023. And I think that this is going to be a massive theme for the year ahead. I feel up until August. After August, I can't actually really see anything. For some reason, it's all dark. That's not bad. See what comes up for you when I said that. But for me, it just feels mysterious more than anything. Because again, actually, this is what I'm feeling. It's mysterious because it's still undetermined for the most part. The choices that we make and how we choose to show up and what we choose to say in the circles that matter to us is going to be very reflective of fallen onwards, what will happen in our lives and in our society. So I don't want to put too much responsibility on people, but I feel like this is coming up because the people who are listening are ready for this change. And that change will have discomfort to it. And we need to see discomfort as merely being an energy of change. And change is not bad. I think if anything, these past few years has highlighted how change is so necessary. So who are you going to be in this time of change? And how are you going to be, a change agent, right? A spiritual change agent to really help pave out the future that we want to see for ourselves and for our families. And I hope that these really resonate with you because I'm feeling the power behind it. Like this is so clear. It's coming through just so clear. Now, in saying that, as we look to change and we look to being spiritual change agents in the future that we desire, we have to be a lot more selective about our energy. We have to be a lot more selective about our energy. So January is going to be a time of really taking stock of depletion and expansion and looking at different relationships, different atmospheres, different environments, different thought patterns, different ways of being that are draining you or depleting you. And then looking at, okay, do I want to feel like this in 3 months or 6 months? Do I still want to be thinking like this? Do I still want to be surrounded by these people? Do I still want to be in this environment? And getting clear on how that supports your future self and what needs to change to make sure that you have more abundance of energy than depletion of energy. Spirit, as I say this, I wasn't intending on talking about this. It didn't come up for me earlier, but I can see even some decisions that I've made in fall and winter 2022, how they depleted me because I was trying to do them for the wrong reasons, trying to like help other people or elevate other people or pave a path for other people. And it drained me, to be honest with you, in a lot of ways. And so, looking at my future self, how can I show up in a way that honors who I want to be in the future and trust that by honoring that, the people that I hope to elevate will come with me by way of me rising myself. Okay. I hope that this makes sense. That's kind of what's coming through with me with that. And the last spirit message, and I'm going to go to just a couple cards, but the ones that are more channeled, I would say, is I said something a couple months ago. I actually don't remember when I said it or where I said it, but I had a few people mention that it was impactful for them. And I said, I'm healing on the go. Spirit wants to talk about that here for a second, because what they are saying is that you don't have to be fully healed to be able to move forward. Like, you're allowed to walk into your future and heal things as you are walking into your future and literally walking in the future. So all you need, in the most simplest of terms, is a desire to heal, a desire to forgive, a desire to move on, a desire for self-love, a desire for self-respect. You don't have to wait for your future to have and embody that self-respect and that self-love 110% of the time. All you need to do is continue to walk forward with that desire to have that catch up to you as you continue to walk. Spirit just shows me people on a path just continuing to walk forward, like through rain, through storm. It's like those old stories of like, I had to walk 200 miles to get to school. It's like literally that. And it's like, I see such determination in 2023. I see you walking through walls. I see you walking through troubles and people doubting you and people not supporting you vocally. And I see you just walking right through it. You're like, I got places to go. I got people to see. I got things to experience. I'm going to continue forward. Spirit really wants us to embody this determination, this self-determination in 2023. It doesn't matter what comes our way. We have walked through muck for 3 years, and we are going to continue to plow through anything that this world puts in our way. And we are just going to keep walking. And guess what? When we have a moment where we're like, guys, I can't walk anymore because of the work and the choices that you have made and that you have chosen to have people who energize you and don't deplete you, they're going to pick up the baton while you rest. And they're going to continue walking for you on your behalf and for them as well. And they're going to keep going. And then when they need a rest, you're going to keep walking forward. But we're going to keep walking forward. We're going to keep moving towards our dreams, moving towards things that energize us and excite us. And we're going to choose differently to break these cycles. 2023, if nothing else, is going to be a year of breaking cycles and patterns and choosing new through the discomfort and trusting that inspiration. And I'm excited to see what happens at the end of this year. I'm excited to see what changes come up around fall, like I say, because I still feel like we're like literally creating our future with every single decision, and the future is not written. It's going to be very dependent on the cycles we break and the choices we make in the beginning of 2023. So yeah, I love that for us. I hate that saying, but it's kind of fun to say. I think it's kind of like a slight, but I love that for us. Okay. Now, a few cards that I pulled up for January. Now, sometimes, funny enough, like typically if you go back the past couple of years, when I do January, I do a whole year review, but I didn't feel that this year. And now that I'm tuning in and I'm getting into the channeling, I could see why, because there's no way I could feel into fall and winter 2023. And that makes sense why I didn't feel compelled to pull 12 cards for the 12 months of this year. But I did pull 3 cards, and they are all phenomenal cards. Of course, I use John Holland's Psychic Tarot. It's like pretty much the only deck I ever use anymore. It's going back to my roots. And we pulled a beautiful card, the number 8 of accelerated motion forward. And that really resonates with some of the things I was talking about and speaking up about, how Spirit just wants us to like move forward like a shooting star. I feel like we got really tripped up a couple times over the past few years and maybe slipped back a little bit, then went forward a couple inches and back a few feet and then forward a few inches. And Spirit's like, no, we're just moving forward now. We've already been through a lot of hard things and we've survived, and we're going to survive all the hard things that are coming our way. But when we do it from a place of self-determination, it's a different vibe altogether. Okay. So I hope you can feel the power of that. And then we got the beautiful light card. We have so many intuitive cards. We have the light card, which could be said, I think it equals the star card in tarot. I don't know the meaning of that. But when I'm feeling into this light card, I'm feeling that the self-determination that we move forward with, which is like a really big message as part of January, we are going to have some beautiful spiritual rewards. I feel that by embodying some of the messages that Spirit's giving us for this January, we're going to be gifted some really powerful spiritual experiences. And I also feel that we're going to be seeing our light in ways that we haven't really seen it before. I think that we've only really seen our light when things are going well and we're feeling high vibe. And that old kind of messaging of like, just be high vibe, just keep the vibes high is like so over. Like we're over that because the light exists within all of us, whether we recognize it or not. And understanding that that light within never diminishes, never, we will have more of an opportunity to see this light even in times of hardship. And so we're going to be gifted a lot of different spiritual experiences, even in the harder times, that will remind us that our light never diminishes and cannot be destroyed in any way, shape, or form. So it's going to be a really strong, powerful year of recognizing and seeing our light and having it be a guiding force within us to get us through the unpredictable times that are still continuing ahead, because we're still in the free will time, right? We have free will and what the future is really going to look like. And then finally, we have like this increased intuition card. Now, I believe that, we have stronger intuition when we're feeling more confident. And I feel that confidence is a really big theme of this year as well, because if we're choosing to move forward despite being knocked down, imagine the courage and confidence it takes to stand up and continue on. I feel like there's a lot of confidence being built throughout this year for people who will be resonated with listening with this message, including myself. This one feels like a little bit for me as well. And I feel that what we are going to see is a byproduct of honoring and choosing to live in that state of confidence by recognizing our light never diminishes, by continuing forward on our paths continuously, despite what gets thrown our way. The other benefit to that, which is just going to be a side effect of that way of living, is going to be an increase in intuition. So a lot more people stepping into the courage of their intuition, following their intuition, stop doubting it so much, and being okay to say what is intuitively coming through despite your mind maybe getting in the way. I feel like the mind's going to be really kind of taking a step back and letting the intuition move forward and come up and rise to the top of our lived experiences. So I feel like there's going to be an increase of personal intuition on an individual level when it comes to 2023 as well. So I think you'll hear even actually the way Spirit's actually bringing this through is like even in corporate spaces, even in like law enforcement, even in like judicial systems, in medical systems, I feel that even the systems are going to be starting to use, and I'm in shivers as I say this, intuitive language and intuition. Like I can even see doctors in school being taught, like follow your intuition a bit. Some of this is intuitive. And so we are actually seeing a rise of respect and honor around intuition. So lightworkers who are still in the closet, it's going to be a lot safer to come out this year than ever before. So yeah, and it's going to be, and this is interesting the way that they bring this up, because I think development's really important. Everybody should go through some sort of training and development when it comes to harnessing their intuition. But I also feel that what this is saying is that there's going to be like this natural intuitive development that's going to be the byproduct of us living and choosing a little bit differently and living our best life and living our most expansive life and putting boundaries around things that deplete us and choosing differently. So yeah, it feels good. I mean, I'll be honest with you, like when I listen to Michael Lennox's, I love his podcast, Conscious Embodiment. He does a weekly astrology. He's like the Red Robe astrologer on Instagram, needs no introduction. But yesterday I was listening to his energy forecast for the week, his astrology, and he was saying how the next few years are going to be really hard. I'm like, what? Like, how could it get any harder? And I remember just kind of like laughing in surrenderance around that. But what Spirit's kind of bringing me today is kind of like this message of hard smart. Like, life's always hard and life's always beautiful. And we get to kind of choose how we show up in that energy and how we show up in that life. Like, that's what life's about, right? So yeah, okay. I think I'll leave the messages there, and I'm going to trust and I'm going to hope that you get a message or two within these spirit messages that really resonate with you, that excite you, that make you feel a little bit of a spiritual awakening, your spirit waking up. And what we're going to head into now, so now's the time that I ask, if you're driving or if you are not in a space where you can dedicate about 26 minutes to yourself, I'm about to include in this podcast episode a visualization that I created for the Confident Lightworker Week in the Spirit School space, the free space, where I was guided to create a visualization around your future self. And so this isn't a yearly one the way that I felt like doing this one. So it's going through the next 12 months of 2023. So if you want to gift yourself a little bit of time to go through this visualization, and then do not skip the journaling after, because you are going to be gifted so many insights into the year ahead for yourself that I think it's going to give you a clear path forward. So I would love to hear from you on Instagram, or if you want to email through my website, it goes to my assistants, but they always send me feedback on the podcast. So if you want to let me know if these visualizations are helpful for you, I don't mind incorporating them a little bit more in the future podcast episodes as well. So for now, I'm going to love you, and I'm going to leave you with this powerful visualization of connecting with your soul and your spirit and being guided forward in the next 12 months of your future self. And we'll see you in Spirit School. I invite you to start taking high quality deep breaths, starting to bring your energy back into the space, into the present moment. So at your own pace, you're drawing in high quality deep breaths, calling your energy back, calling your power back from the busy day you've had so far. With every breath in, you're gathering up any tension in your body. And with the out breath, you're releasing the tension, sinking deeper into your seat. On the next exhale, you drop your shoulders, you relax your jaw and your tongue. And one final high quality deep breath in to call back all the rest of your energy, and you're going to gather up any ruminating thoughts. And with a dramatic exhale, you release everything to the space around you to be absorbed by the light that surrounds us all. You don't have to carry anything at this moment. I'm going to ask you to activate a smile on your face and think of something you're incredibly grateful for in this moment to start to lift your vibration. Hold this vision of gratitude, the sensation and the emotion of being grateful. Just allow it to expand your heart space. Now, visually and sentiently, I invite you to start paying attention to the energy around your feet. If you have it accessible to you to be able to visualize, you can start seeing a beautiful white light starting to swirl around your feet. And give this color a vibrancy, texture, and opaqueness. I always see this light as being sparkly, white, and incredibly vivid. Don't forget to drop your shoulders and rest your jaw and tongue. As you witness as this light starts to widen and expand, it starts to move up your ankles, and it moves around you in almost a tornado-like fashion. This divine white light around your thighs and your shins, and your calves and your knees. It starts to envelop your entire lower body as this beautiful white light starts to move around the hips and the seat and the hands and the forearms and the waist. As this beautiful white light moves around the arms and the chest and the heart and the shoulders, as it moves up around the neck, the chin, base of the skull, around your nose, the head, the eyes, around over the top of the crown, as this light continues its journey upwards, carrying you up with it. You are being lifted by this beautiful divine light that has cocooned you and is carrying you to a space to reveal some truth about yourself and about your future. And as you allow your vibrations to lift with this light, you start to see the light dissolve, and before you is one of the most magnificent building structures you have ever seen. Your soul gets to tell you what this building looks like, the colors, the light that surrounds it or comes from within it. But there is a familiar sense to this place. And your soul recognizes it as its own spirit school. And as you start to follow the curiosities and make your way towards the building, you hear a voice, whether it comes from within or around you, inform you that you're about to encounter the most confident, the most proud, the most assured version of yourself. As you walk towards the door and place your hand down to open the door, inside, you are transported to a year from now. And you're observing as you witness your future self courageously moving through its life. What is the version of yourself 1 year from now doing? How do they look? How did they choose to dress? Do they appear happy, vibrant? I want you to witness in awe as this year from now version of yourself is living their most confident and expansive life. pay attention to what it is they're choosing to do at this time. Are they speaking? Are they teaching? Are they in a private sitting session? I want you to connect in with this version of yourself and feel the radiance of their inner confidence. Just as you do that, you acknowledge that they recognize you. And with a smile, they start to walk towards you and they say, "Hey, there you are. I've been waiting. I have some things to share. Come walk with me." As this version of yourself takes you by the arm and guides you down the hallways and in and out of the rooms of the spirit school, and you place thought or say out loud to this guide that is you, "What did you do? How did we get here? What do I need to know?" And your future self says, "Well, let's go into this room and see what we need to do next." As they open up the door to reveal to yourself you in the immediate future. And allow this scene to play out for yourself so that you can get wisdom from your inner soul and your future self on what your next immediate steps are to becoming the most expansive and confident version of yourself. And as your future self excitedly grabs you by the hand and says, "We've more to see. Come with me." And as you leave that room and close the door behind you, you're guided down the hall to a door that says, 3 months from now. And your future version of yourself asks you to walk through this door, to experience what you need to know about where you're going in the 3-month from now version of yourself and your experience. So open that door, walk through, and allow yourself to receive what you need to know about 3 months from now. And as you're met with the version of yourself that exists 3 months from now, take in what they're doing. How do they present themselves? Who do they spend their time with? What have they had to let go of? I'm going to leave you here to spend some time with yourself in the vision of 3 months from now. And you hear your future self open the door behind you and say, okay, we have more to see. Come with me. You can come back here anytime. But let's get going. As they take you down a winding corridor and you start to take in the light in this space, the colors, the decor, the layout. This spirit school gets to come to life for you. Up ahead, you see a much larger door. It's fancier in some way. It's one that you have ease walking towards. And you notice a beautiful sign outside that says 6 months from now. And you know what to do. You open the door and you walk through, and you're greeted with the version of yourself that exists in its highest potential 6 months from now. What are you doing? Who are you with? What did you have to let go of? And ask this version of yourself, if you had one thing to tell me, one thing that will make the biggest difference to me today, what is that one thing? And I will leave you here to spend some time with this version of yourself. I want you to give this version of yourself an embrace and thank them for their wisdom, thank them for their courage. Thank you for giving me hope of what's to come for me, what the potential is for me. And as you leave this room and rejoin your future self, they say to you, just one more visit. We're going to head to the library now. And you take some stairs as they guide you to a new area of the spirit school. And you find yourself at the entrance of one of the most magnificent libraries you have ever seen. This space gets to come to life through the world behind your eyes. Walk through, touch things, move things, smell things. You bring life into this space. And as you look around, you notice, you see a version of yourself 9 months from now, sitting at a table, in a chair, book in hand, waiting for you, but allowing you to approach them. You sit across from them, smile on your face, because you know that this version of yourself radiates inner confidence, assurance. They know who they are. You get to spend time with this version of yourself and ask them, what are we dreaming about at this time? What's the big dream? Where do we want to go next? What do I need to know at this moment to embody the innate confidence and assurance that you're expressing to me now? And they hold up a holographic screen. beautiful divine white light moves and widens down the arms and the chest and the back and the waist and the hips and the seat, as it moves around the thighs and the knees and the shins and the calves, down the feet, through the bottom of the feet, continuing its journey down to the core of Mother Earth, anchoring us back in to our physical space. I'm going to invite you to take 5 high-quality deep breaths at your own pace, and every time you exhale, you start to slowly awaken the body, stretching, shifting, moving side to side, moving your head and your neck. And if your body's awakened enough, I invite you to place your hands on your heart and just give yourself a sense of gratitude for dedicating this time for yourself, for your future, and understanding that there is something to be said for confidence in your future. And if you ever need to get unstuck with how you feel in the moment, and you've honored that feeling, you can come back to this visualization, start bringing hope back into your life, and getting a clear picture on what your future has in store for you. Did you know that Spirit School is not just a podcast? It's an actual school. If you go to myspiritschool.com, you can invest in self-study courses, live programs, and of course the Spirit School Collective, my baby, my monthly membership community. All Spirit School offerings are intended to get you feeling clear, confident, and connected to your spiritual path, your development journey, and of course, connected to other spiritual curious souls who are having similar experiences to you. I hope to see you in Spirit School.